execution and reports on that Taraji P. And Miss Neal, you all have been fighting off the camera. Well, honey child, this is a monstrous cup of tea, honey. No doubt can people assemble around. And let me update you on perhaps of the most unbelievable quarrel in media outlets, the conflict between Nia Long and Taraji P. Henson. This quarrel lastingly affects both their fans and the business in general. You see, everything began with a dull joke that heightened things to an unheard of level. Yet here's the kicker: this fight runs way more profound than simply that joke. Individuals are conjecturing that there's been a fundamental strain stewing between these two for a long while. And that joke was only the absolute last thing that could be tolerated. And presently Nia Long is moving forward to make sense of why she never agreed with Taraji right from the outset. Currently, let me let you know, everything revolves around the subtleties. What precisely did Nia say? And what was this tune joke that set off this quarrel? Hold on the grounds that this tea is burning hot, and we're going to get every one of the succulent subtleties directly from the source. Everything started in the far-off year of 2017. At the point when the universe of inward fulfillment was dazzled by an unfurling adventure that elaborate. In all honesty, the regarded entertainer Nia Long and her job in the exceptionally acclaimed Fox dramatization series known as Domain. Nia Long joined the television series during its third season and played the person Juliana in the show. She was the ex-accomplice of Lucius Leon, who was played by Terrence Howard. Then again, Taraji P. Henson, who is notable for her job, depicted the person Lori Detrigue. Leon reports began flowing that Nia Long was creating all in all a ruckus on set because of her steady lateness. As per insiders, her co-stars and the diligent staff were left hanging tight for roughly 30 minutes each time she showed up after the expected time to exacerbate the situation. They needed to depend on utilizing stunt duplicates for her scenes, so Taraji Henson, her co-star, could practice without her anyway. In spite of getting formal grievances in regards to her reliability, Nia kept on showing up later than expected. And this didn't set well with Taraji. In one specific occurrence, Mia's lateness arrived at new levels, and an individual from the creation group really considered scrutinizing the purpose for her deferral. Supposedly, Nia answered in a most horrendous way, obviously displaying her foul state of mind. It is said that Taraji couldn't avoid offering a scornful comment, addressing, "What are you on your period? Is it that time, sweetheart?" Does she hop in and tell her, "For what reason are you so distraught? Are you on your period?" The effect of this remark supposedly touched off a blazing fury inside Nia, leaving the people who saw the trade stunned. Various people related with the cast group and creation of the hit Fox series have approached illustrating Nia's way of behaving as both discourteous and amateurish. These insiders, very educated about the tattle, have furnished us with one as well as 3 nitty-gritty instances of episodes, including the eminent entertainer of the hamburger between Taraji P. Henson and Nia Long on the realm. Said everything began once again and joked, to be more exact, the Stavasnia, a fairly disputable inquiry, saying, "For what reason is she generally on individuals of color time?" This question conveys a generalization, inferring that dark people will more often than not show up after the expected time. Allegedly, Mia was enraged and answered with a cruel affront, provoking Taraji to step in and mediate. From that second ahead, their fight strengthened and proceeds right up till now. Insiders for the tattle site guarantee that things got so unpredictable that there was a thought to shoot their scenes together independently. Insiders have uncovered that there have been occasions where it gave the idea that they were contending with one another for the main job. This is very fascinating on the grounds that not just the staff in the whole presentation group, yet additionally, the actual fans accept that Taraji ought to be the fundamental star, the main woman of the show. Yet the situation starts to get interesting as Nia Long struggles stretch out past Taraji. She's supposedly conflicted with a whole hairdress and cosmetic staff, procuring herself the name of being very troubled deferential. At one point, she would evidently conclude she could have done without her glance. Without a second to spare and censure them, curiously sources guarantee that no other individual, including rappers and even Demi Moore, confronted comparative grumblings as Nia did anyway. Nia herself answered these allegations, declaring that she realizes herself best. She accepts she has an unmistakable vision of the hairdos and cosmetics that suit her, and in the event that the staff couldn't stay aware of her inclinations. She communicates limit yet doesn't feel dependable, as it's been a gift and a revile on the grounds that this is what I truly do realize. Nia Long knows her light, Nia Long knows her cosmetics, Nia Long knows her hair. And you most likely can't talk me into something different, except if you show me. It's not shocking that the staff individuals feel a feeling of lack of respect. Plainly, Nia probably given them an incredible reprimanding, as the hair, cosmetics, and dress group could not have possibly gone to the degree of recording an objection on the off chance that the degree of disregard hadn't arrived at its pinnacle. Their activities say a lot about the seriousness of the circumstance and the effect it had on their expert relationship. Yet that wasn't the finish of the conflict, my companions, by no stretch of the imagination. It's worked over into the actual texture of the actual show, where bits of gossip twirled that Nia had made a legitimate move against the whole presentation group, asserting they neglected to say her a legitimate goodbye. Currently, as you are now mindful, Nia previously had a tempestuous relationship with practically all the creation groups. So with an end goal to subdue further strains, the chief went with the choice to trim her personality's storyline short. Thusly, her presence on the show was unexpectedly diminished by Nia. When somebody leaves the show, the standard practices for the entire group to accumulate, and the chief would openly recognize the leaving individual and recognition their work. Yet Nia claims that she didn't get this standard goodbye, and this profoundly disturbed her in spite of the fact that it's not satisfactory. Everything that the associate chiefs aims were. A source said to TMZ that Nia became vexed and baffled, and surprisingly told a creation staff part that she would sue them since her agreement evidently incorporated a legitimate farewell. And as we strip back the layers of this shameful adventure, incidentally, that Nia's conflicts with her kindred entertainers are not secluded episodes. Numerous different entertainers have approached imparting their own encounters of working to Nia. And let me let you know, not pretty one noticeable figure chose to spill the tea is, in all honesty, the magnetic Tay Diggs, who had the valuable chance to impart the screen to Nia. Tay Diggs let it all out and offered a striking expression that sent shockwaves through the business. He communicated his profound disappointment, making plainly he could at no point ever enthusiastically work with Nia. In the future, I was pissed. I was like, I'm at absolutely no point ever going to work with her in the future. You know how amateurish. In the meantime, Nia Long's delegates have moved forward to address the cases encompassing Nia's conduct in light of the charges. Long's agents gave an assertion to TMZ, solidly remaining by their underlying remarks. They underline that Nia has forever been and keeps on being the quintessential expert on set in regards to her functioning associations with the cast. Nia's delegates brought up that she had first joined the undertaking as a result of her well-established fellowship and expert compatibility with Terrence Howard. They communicated their trust in Nia's lead and kept up with that. They have not gotten any authority articulations or grumblings about their client. As a matter of fact, Nia's agents communicated their distrust about the planning of these accounts, finding them rather dubious. They featured that the series is set to return this evening, and the unexpected rise of these cases appears to be sketchy, saying, we don't know about any objection, suit, or argument against her from anybody associated with the show. And we carve out the opportunity of this multitude of stories to be exceptionally dubious, given that the series returns this evening. Yet the genuine motivation behind why Nia has disapproved of Taraji from the very outset is on the grounds that she sees her as a rival. It's not Taraji that Nia despises. She additionally has an aversion for Jada Pinkett Smith, said she sees them as opponents in media outlets. This makes sense of why a straightforward joke was sufficient to set off such areas of strength from her anyway. When defied about her continuous quarrel with Taraji, Nia resolutely denied all charges, yet the Twitterverse appears to have an alternate story to tell. Apparently a fast hunt of Nia Long discourteous yields a plenty of records enumerating pessimistic experiences with the entertainer. One individual strongly posted search on Twitter Nia Long. Inconsiderate look, the number of terrible associations that individuals have had with her on the side of this case. Another fan shared a story about their cousin who had worked with Nia and depicted her as a horrible individual, expressing, "My cousin Sheila has worked with Neo well before she said she's a horrendous individual, haha." Besides, a different fan related their own experience with Nia at a bistro, depicting her as discourteous and recommending it very well may be a type of karma, saying Nia Long was discourteous to me one day at the cafe. Perhaps this is her karma. Yet what really provokes our interest is your viewpoint on this succulent adventure. We're kicking the bucket to hear your contemplations. Do you accept Nia Long showed discourteous way of behaving? Or do you suspect these accounts might have been manufactured? Offer your remarks down underneath and let your voice be heard in the whirling vortex of tattle as we anxiously anticipate further updates on this enamoring show. Remember to remain tuned for our next video. The section proceeds, and we'll be here to keep you in the know with every